grinder. Hey, and go to Alabutwazi. Bagoba, Bagala extra man. Good evening, my people. How are you today? I hope it's a good evening. It's a good Saturday. It's a hot Saturday. Wakedenge nkube etonyanga nange wadde njagala SC era samu muzenda lwamu daziri a little bit down. Neka akati the kind of heat that the people moving outside must be feeling, and those that drive cars that don't have air conditioning, I'm not experiencing it. Katinze emoroke yange erimu very cold, very cold. But how are you, my people? Mbadde ninze mujje Semusu Wilba, how are you? Amin ojja kulaba onawo abira tusime Eddie Antonio, good evening. Pade Mutumba, how are you? Wave Technologies kabese mukawulira. Kambese, how are you? High voltage. Jonathan Mulumba, how are you? This is Sir Apollo Kagwa Batamanyi abaludde okulaba Uganda. Kati oba mbayiseewo olwaleero bannange mbayiseewa. Wira rapu yange. Oh fella, you gotta wake up. Awake your sanity. She got no love for you. She got no love for you. He is so gullible. After his money. Muri mutia. How is your day? What is challenging you? Anything that challenges you that you need advice on, well, this could be the day that you share with us. Tulabe tomanya oliwe yali akiyisemu kona kuwa ku magezi nagamba do like this, itawa noboti maneuver like this, because I've realized that majority of the time, every time you think that you have a very big problem, someone else has been through that and they have learned a way to sort it. So techiba chirungi gwe kubeera awo nobeera mu kizibu ngate wali wakuyambako kukiyitamu. So if you have something, a challenge that you're going through and you think that having a second thought on it would help you, you can post it in the comments and then people can advise you. So many times you think we have just gone through stuff. I'll give you an example. However ready we want to be, majority of men have never been ready for the time for their firstborn to be born. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. We can be ready however we want. We can try to be ready. but majority of men cannot tell you that they were ready for their firstborn to be brought to this earth. Era bajja kugamba nali sirina sente simanyi na kumanya okitegeera naye nga ate ogenda okumulaba nga yalinga eyeetegese okitegeera. So kati olumu bw'oba okiyitamu oyinza okulowooza tewali muntu mulala yali akiyiseemu naye nga ate abantu bangi bakiyiseemu. Even at that moment ojja kusanga someone else is going through the same thing. So if you're going through something today, you can share so that we see if someone can assist you, because it's possible that someone has gone through that, probably in a worse situation, and yeah, they can advise you in a way. So today I've done a pre-purchase inspection. Someone that contacted me a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, he wanted the Subaru Impreza 2012. I've posted it in the community tabs. You can go and check it out either now or after the broadcast. I'm trying to see if this phone doesn't overheat. Ngitadde exactly at the naine ene moroka erinzi buzibu. Vent zaye za SC zidi in a challenging spot. So I want to see how I can trap this. Can this work? Yeah, let's try to see if that works. Yeah, so we have done inspection today. The entire day, by the way. We started moving at 9 a.m. And 30 minutes ago is when we signed the agreement. Finally, we have decided on the car to buy. And what the Subaru Mbade City Fani was on Nyonyo, I'm starting to buy Subarus. So today we have bought an Impreza. And I've learned that Imprezas, majority of the new Imprezas, you need to really check. If you find a new Impreza ngeriku namba ampia gabaji tunda laisi, you need to really inspect. Inspect why? Katerwalero, we have looked at 4 Subaru Imprezas 2012 models. One had a gearbox issue, another one had an engine that sounded like a Chalani. Then another one was even newer than the one we bought, belonged to the same person, but wasn't good. So we ended up buying the UBH because it was the best. And I can tell you that all the Subarus we've looked at, the other 3 were better than the UBH. They were newer than the UBH, but not in better condition. So yes, I know we want new numbers and all. We want to get newer stuff and all. You can probably see a newer trim of a car, because the better trims of any car normally have leather seats. So we have seen 2 that had leather seats. Nenga zonna se emu ebadde UBN ebadde tewoma bulungi wansi even the buyer did not like it. Nenga naye ebadde namu. Then the other one was a UBJ. I think it's the last one we saw, and then we decided to just buy the UBH. The UBJ had a very bad engine, very bad. Chizito Tadeo, how are you? Chiza Tadeo, how are you? Mukisa Emma Kafero, Mulunga Ivan, Ewabu Jingo Tuise Oda, Kanso Patrick Asiku, Kasumba Mike Mugala, how are you? Seguya Ronald, Hajara, how are you? Posa Hajara Twagambe wa Antonio Yekayeka, Chagwa Decha Antonio ne Hajara. Muchana Antonio Muwati Chagwada. Munava Douglas, how are you? Abi Kenya, how are you, my brother? Uriota, how effective is car tracking device? It is possible to switch off the engine at night when you have parked for safety. Yeah, it's possible, by the way, Abe. For the guys that have bought trackers from me, I've told you how you do that. You can. It's possible. No switching off your car. Although I don't recommend it. I don't recommend that you switch off your car using the tracker as you go to bed. Do you know why? Because this person will force you to turn it back on. So what you would ideally do, leave it on, and then you track it. It's easier for you to put them in panic mode if you just track them. So don't switch off, leave it on, so that you just get an alert when the engine starts and all. Nelson Chove, how are you, my brother? Studio 93 House Designs, how are you? Moses Sith, how are you? try to explain, because you said it switches off the engine by your command. Abe kanjira ontunuulire n'okuntunuulira kasa tuli mu kajjangu. Let me turn the camera so that you look at me and you understand how this thing works. Musajja wa pasa abadde ovuga otumotoka twetubi twetutono ogenda otuyingiza mu layini bwe banaatutomera ne tuggwawo. Ate bwe balinga boogera vitizi nti bazooleza mu sinki baali balimba yali paso bupaso obumu butono nnyo, especially bwe batannakyusa kujjako 13-inch rims, tekako 14. So let me just turn this camera so that I tell. So finally the other guys replaced my boot. Mujira bateri mu na tint, so they replaced my boot. Abe, this is how the tracking devices that I sell to you guys work. If you want to turn off the engine, you can turn off the engine using your mobile phone. You just command yone jako engine. The engine cannot be started. Okujjako ngo command is via the phone, oba okujjako nga abantu bano banonyeza tracker ne bagi disable ita. Tracker yaffe engeri tugikweka, it's impossible to disable it. Waliwo yali agamba these guys have scanners to find the tracking device na biki. Bana babbi be Uganda, yes, I know they can have technology, but which car are they scanning? If you're going to buy an expensive car, for example, you better buy a car that also has other features. Osegera, because emoroka yekisoka mu kisumuluzo ky'emmoroka eno yone ekisunzo kyakakitadewa. This key, it has an immobilizer. It's very hard for someone to start this car nga talina kisumuluzo kino oba nga talina copy yakyo. Okay, so if someone doesn't have a copy of your key, it's impossible to start this car first of all. Now yeah, because this key, someone can probably steal it from you or make a copy. Nadala mu abatwala ebisumuluzo oli ku mulimu n'osuulawo ku mmeeza, someone can make a copy nabba emmoroka yo. So to avoid that, abawo abaana ba washing bo okuwoza emmoroka ogitutte wa makaniko gikanika n'ogimulekera, he can always make a copy. So to also mitigate that, put a tracking device, or probably put 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It's your car. Put as many tracking devices as you can afford, and then let it be, so that when waba akoze copy y'ekisumuluzo kino, he can drive n'ogoba mugobe. Okitegeera. Now, no one can start the engine of your car until you have commanded it to start again. Okitegeera. No one can start it. But don't put switch off that car ekirongo ogenza okwebaka. Why am I saying that? Olaba emmoroka mwabagamba musigala teekamu tracking device ngera teekamu ka switch. You guys, omuyaya ajja kujja n'ekiswa akikuteeke wano. He'll put a knife on your neck. Akugambe, you show me where the security button is. And trust me, you will show him where the security button is. You will. Because sometimes akusako kisono otamulaga. So it's good. Security button ne weba mweri ne weba terimu teekamu tracker, so that bagamba daga security button ogenda n'ogimuteerako n'omuleka n'agenda n'ogenda ku police post n'ofuna police officer ne mugobe emmoroka yo. Tracker ina amaanyi geekuwa that other security measures gibisajja kukuwa okitegeera. So that's why everyone that has a car, jangu ogule tracking device ewa Arthur. Just support the hustle. Buli wogula tracking device oyambako channel okusigala ng'eri online, oyambako channel okusigala ng'erina ssente ezikola ki ezigitwala mu maaso. So tracking devices are 350 and 450,000 shillings. Your car is an asset. Like for example, we have just bought an Impreza at 24 million shillings. You don't want the Impreza to be stolen simply because you did not want to spend 350,000 shillings. So spend the 350k, protect your car, keep it safe. Name of a guy. Nina chikubo kye nali mpitambula kuba sikijjukira era nina kikozesa nga nkozesa Google Maps, ate simu gye nkozesa nalikozesa ku Google Maps. Sigalayo soko obeereyo. Kale kanfunde wano jangu manye ebintu by'okuvuga biba bya diplomacy. Nina kubya diplomacy era tojaawo. About love, it's all about money, lies, fake love, pretense. Ha! Oh fella, you gotta wake up, awake your sanity. She got no love for you. She got no love for you. And by the way, I realized that in the inspection the Vista, I have not yet posted the Vista, but we bought a Vista last time. Nabanyumiza, the gentleman came. He had cash money. 10 million. So he wanted to buy a car and probably get someone to lend him a car. Mobaya 15 asasuleke milioni 10. And when I found this gentleman, he had seen a parcel that he was going to buy, I think at over 15, and he was paying 10 million cash. And the nature of business that this gentleman does, according to what he told me and what I analyzed, alimuku mulunzi alunda enkoko ez'amagi ayaluza enkoko okitegeera. So I realized, I definitely told him that the parcel is not a very good choice. Why did I tell him a parcel is not a very good choice? It's because bw'oba ogenda kutika amagi, ogenda kutika enkoko, ka parcel katono, you'd at least ogulamu sienta. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Then era bw'oba olunda enkoko, kitegeeza olimu ojja kugula emmere y'enkoko. Sorry about that, guys. Network. So kangene maso. I've been giving you the story of the gentleman Gutwagulana Vista. We bought that Vista. What day was that? Today is Saturday. Did we buy it on Thursday? I think it was Thursday. And so this gentleman, looking at his trade, I told him buying a parcel will not be helpful, and we should look at other cars. We thought of the newer, which was a little expensive. We get 16, 15. Now let me try and tell you how I work. Now normally when someone is going to buy a car and I'm inspecting, try as much as possible to understand where they're coming from, what they need the car for, and I also try to understand what their goals are, because buying a car is not as simple as you just simply buying a car that you like. Buying a car is also something that should be able to push you, to propel you on your journey so that you get better. Corolla has propelled me a lot. It's propelling someone else. I think in a more can propelling for me, because cars are tools to survive, or tools to get better for you as a person. So when I sat down with him, I told him, you know what, I think it's better because one thing I've told this time and again, every time you buy a car on credit, so that's why I don't recommend that you buy a car on credit whenever you can buy cash. It's better for you to buy a car you can afford in ojigula cash than okwewola. Every time you get a car on credit, you lose network we stabilizing.
I would never let you down, my girl. Till I ring, till I bills, many things don't mean nothing. For as long as you got my heart. Now you watch your number, come on, baby, let's take it slow. You were my number one girl, you rule my world. You took my heart, never a bad part, you made me big. You made me big. Why?
Yes, good evening, Frederick Morris. How are you? Moses Heath, the vase is covering your face. Kano. The visa. Okay. Tukaita face cover. Tuka sun visor. When are you testing the parcel? Parcel ngenda kufuna when you testing. I'm going to get to hire it from somewhere. Njivugemu. Newe najivuga olunaku. Semakula Joseph, how are you? Nissan Serena 2008. If you can avoid it, avoid it. Semakula, avoid it. Semwanga Sudais, good evening. Katz Arafat, how are you? Hey Imam, Racha tere olinyo lita Katz. Murusiramba kukizo okusala keri nyabanange. Hamim Pepera, good evening. Antonio, bano bali mulavu yabwe. Hajara, you send me your number. Perezaka WhatsApp ebisigadde obindekere. King Daniels, how are you? Serunjoji William, how are you? Chiza Tadeo, Arthur, you're true on tracking devices. My friend rented a car last week from a rental company. The contract expired and they called him to renew, but the guy refused. Finally, they switched off the engine. Hey, the trackers are very good. Guys, we are more than 40. Like the broadcast. Like the broadcast. Pasa esobola okulinya bayida otalina buzibu naye gwe kasita togigula ate n'ogitikamu bantu bangi. Naye nga most of the parcels have automatic gearboxes. Tezina CVT. Yeah. I'm doing music so that more of you guys like the broadcast. Like the broadcast, then we continue. Like the broadcast. Time doesn't wait. Okay, man. Manange, like the broadcast, like the broadcast. Wanamuwala kugamba kwagala na yingi chitu. Ayagala sente. Geno kuzukukanga kupase. Ayagala sente. Geno kuzukukanga kupase. Like the broadcast, people tugene maso. Guys, like the broadcast mbanyumize embozi eyali neyaliro nze mbanyumize embozi. But you promise me that you'll never be. Kukwata kona kukozesa n'osumagiro gendo kuzukukanga kubwase. Ayagala sente gendo kuzukukanga kubwase. No sabanda. Like the broadcast, people. Kanange, like the broadcast tugende maso. Kamba we tune endala. Like the broadcast mbanyumize embozi. Kare katugende maso. So the gentleman, finally, we went and we looked at there is a space we looked at, belongs to Imam there. Ali online twajigula wano fenna Imam ate n'agenda okuddayo okusoma Mecca Medina. So network ya Airtel etuusa ate neviirako ddala. I had to put my phone in airplane mode and then put it back. So but starting tomorrow I've just put an eSIM in my phone. I've put an MTN eSIM in my phone. So starting tomorrow's broadcast I'll be using MTN network, I think. Yes, I'll be using MTN for the broadcasts. I don't know if mobile money will be active then. Nenge natani kukoza MTN okukola broadcasts zino because Airtel has disappointed me a lot and I don't want to have that happening to us again. So eventually they liked the Vista for the boot that it gave it, and you guys, by the way, it's a very good thing. If your budget is not very flexible and you're flexible with the cars you can drive, it's a very good thing for me. It's also good for you because you can imagine omuntu yabadde agenda kwewula emmoloka nemulaga Spacio nemulaga n'alaba Vista titukebere emmoloka ezo, and eventually yaguze Vista eyaze with 10 million to get a debt. Yabadde agala to buy a car on credit, pay 10 million bambanje, and I told him, but why would you take a car on credit if you can get a car on when you pay cash with the money you have? We didn't even use all the money he had. So what we did is the Vista we bought twagiguze 8.5 million shillings. Nemugaba kati send his offices you go and buy new tires and put the new tires on the car and okole nebirala nabyo yagala okukola kumoroka yo okitegeera. So it's important sometimes if your budget is not very flexible for you to be flexible with the kinds of cars you buy, because if I've found that brokers are not very lenient with you. Tebajja kubeeraawo bakufeeko nnyo. If you tell a broker I want to buy a car at 12 million and I want a chigege, the broker will find you chigeges of 12 million. That's one thing I've realized. Brokers will find you chigeges of 12 million, but they want to be good. So sometimes, instead of being rigid with the type of car you have, if your budget is not flexible, you would rather change, be flexible with the type of car you can buy, you want to drive, and because when that happens, then you can get a good car within your budget, even if it's not your car of preference. I've told you time and again, Zenga Arthur, I'm not picky about the car I drive. As long as the car serves the purpose for which I'm buying the car, I'm not going to be picky about mbate njagala hali akawundo yokka. Bwensanga kuruga nga yeriwo nga yeri mu sente zange ngate nayo mmoloka nungi, I buy and drive that. Okay, that's why I've been driving Beats, never Beats, the paso yo sijja njageze sange this. Kuja ko paso ngo muntu avudde ni najimpa buwi. Naye sijja gisamu katono nnyo. But I'm definitely going to test it for you guys. Mbabulire how it feels and if you should buy or not. Zo Beats zonna nabakirizo zigula okujja ko if you're buying a 1.3 liter Beats, buy the one that has the 2NZ engine. Don't buy the one that has the 2SZ. Okay, the 2SZ engine is not very durable. Anyway, so that's how we bought the Vista. So today, this gentleman had talked to me before, and I had told him that whether it's a 2008 or a 2012 model, for me I find that cars are cars. As long as it can serve my purpose, if I save some money, because this gentleman originally had a budget of 20 million, right? And then he talked to a few brokers and they told him that with 20 million you can't get a 2012 model Impreza, but you can top up some money and you get the 2012 model. Now me, I was a little bit still skeptical because the last time we wanted to buy an Impreza 2012 model, it was the cheapest we could see was 28 million. So I was a little skeptical. However, today we have been able to buy the one that I posted. We have bought it at 24 million cash money. So what happened? In the morning, I met up with this gentleman that has just bought, and when I met up with this gentleman, we went straight to his broker. However, it had a gearbox issue. It had a gearbox issue. Remember, those Imprezas have CVT gearboxes. Now, majority of the time when a CVT gearbox gets a leakage, you cannot. Toyota kadzowa genze batandika okuziyiya. But with Imprezas, I've seen so many people complain about the gearbox. Even with the Foresters, people complaining about gearboxes. Once it gets a leakage, you can write off that gearbox. That's how it is. So when we found that it had a leakage, ate babadde bakagezaako kukola leakage era neegaana. Kati, why would you spend babadde UBL nga bagitula million, 22 million? So the idea is that why would you spend 22 million only to end up buying a gearbox of 7 million? You get, because the gearboxes for those Subarus are very, very, very expensive. Let it be Impreza, let it be Forester, let it be Legacy. The gearboxes are quite expensive. You get, so you don't want to buy a car at 22 million and then end up buying a gearbox or an engine. So after that, someone told us of a car that is we found it in Chira. So now the first car we saw it was in Chisasi. Yes, it was in Chisasi. So after seeing that car, and right, for me, the moment I see something that is katomanyi jenjo kuyita incurable disease, if I see an incurable disease on a car, I would never advise you to buy that car. Please guys, like the broadcast. 10 more people to like the broadcast, 9 more people to like the broadcast. Yeah, so we wrote that off and then we drove batukabe moroka zibadde Chira zibadde bid tuzisanze mu kikomere banange. People of Chira, you have built houses. Mama nyabo mwe njagadde okusenkanve wange zijembere mu za apartment ze Chira. Wo abana be Chira muzimbye amayumba mama nyabo. Ye katifa babere ne matuga mu kyale nyumba zaffe zinatukakawo obulungi. Mwe tugenze ekirana y'abantu babeera bulungi. Abantu ne bafiira misigo. Eri embeera toyinza butagifiira mwogo omuzigo wagufiiridde mudda. Tugenze ekiramu za apartment z'ekireeyo. Anyway, the guy had 2 Imprezas. One was a UBN and then the other was that UBH that we bought. So we drove the UBH. The UBH checked out. Suspension is good. The engine checks out. The gearbox is good. Everything checks out apart from the cracked windscreen. No buntobo body bagenda babako. I think it just did not revet them properly. But everything else checked out. UBN, the buyer did not even want to drive the UBN. He did not like it. I think I found that Subarus look better in colors that are not white. But that's just something I've realized in Zenga Arthur. So anyway, after driving the UBH, the buyer's broker called us again to go to Nakawa to see another Impreza, which is a UBJ, also very cheap because the UBH jetuguze 24, omusajja wetwamaze ogivugamu n'agamba atunda 26. 26 is too high. So I told these people, mmanyono omusajja tumuleke tugende tunonye mmoloka endala akyaseera. Deep down in me I thought, engeri eri gye babadde batunda UBL 22 million, we could be able to get a UBH at like 18, 20. Which then a guy aganye 26. So we drove and went to Nakawa. However, ngaba broker we mamanyi, he will tell you to go to a place, ngemoro ka tell you it's exactly what happened. But as we were going, my mechanic said, I know that car. Like it belonged to someone he knows. He has probably worked for a friend of the owner of that Impreza. I said, "Emoro ke yonjimanyi, ye mulago, katwachi bano baba lima nti eri Nakawa." But I said, me, I always have the benefit. I give people the benefit of the doubt. So what we did is we drove when there were accident. Nadi eriwali, yo nadi ojiraba, etekwa kubye wa border. Ekubye wa border. The accident ebadde leeta jam n'omupiira gwabisi. Alabika akubye wa border n'amulinnya n'omulinnya. That's exactly what happened. But hey guys, as you're driving on the road, be very careful with border guys. Abasajja border tebalina magezi. Tebalina, it's like when you sit on a border ne baba gwa abadasinga obugezi wamu. All of a sudden you become the stupidest, the serious person. So be careful with border guys. Keep a distance from them. Woman on border all of a sudden ajja kusiba omutomere. Kati mbada bavugira makati ge kubo. Okitegeera. So be careful with border guys. Kati oli amuli aletedde munne ebizibu. Okitegeera. So anyway, what did we do? What we did was that mana nyino genda ko mujimba gayi wange era bwe ntuka lyema tukagenda basi bulangene kwatemu ko muchuma for 30 minutes. Chris Fitness joli okumpya otugenda tukwatemu simanya ku broadcast police nasoma kulinya lyo nebo boli ku broadcast nsanga wali tukwatemu mbuuma awo So anyway, guys, bwe tugenze nakawa, the car was not there, and I told this broker, omuntu yakwesiza omunonyize emmoroka, why don't you be honest? Because they were lying to us. But the owner was waiting for you here with the car. He took the car for T-Cat. Like T-Cat, I know T-Cat. The guys that do T-Cat can come to the car. You don't have to take the car to them. So I tell the broker, client, so eventually, actually, because I already knew the car was in Mulago. Because I don't want brokers to start saying, so we went, when I chance and eventually I told the buyer, you call that broker, aje tugende and we look at his car, because I don't want him to start saying, oh yo atulemesa okutunda emmoroka zaffe. So we called that broker and atula mu mmotoka. We drove to the car which was in Mulago, like I said, and the car was not good. But when we were on our way to the car, I kept asking the broker, are you sure this car is in good condition? The broker kept saying, hey. Then I remember the broker, your broker ate mechanic yangambye ku garage yawe we bakolere emmoroka zaabwe, we kolere emmoroka ezo langi. So I know he knew the car was not good. Even the car in the morning, they had to take a gearbox embi. Nayo yabadde agimanyi. Tutuuse ku mmoroka eno Mulago nga the engine etokotanga tractor. Mumanyi tractor bwe etokota. That's how the engine was running. And you know me, I didn't even need to inspect the car, because the moment they started the engine like this, the buyer himself could feel that the engine wasn't good. And yeah, so what happened is, now we had, because it's a Saturday, banks close very, very early. It's a Saturday and it was approaching 4 p.m. So we had to make a decision. That's when we started negotiating with this guy, the UBH guy, and he said he would sell to us at 25. And I told him, 25 is too much. Ate, ono musajja abadde atuguzisa UBH, alayika naye obusuubuza bulimu nnyo, because when he heard that there was a UBJ that was being sold at batugambe 22 million, n'atugoberera. Era ngambye, gwe maani, impresa ye bakuba nnungi nga mwe mwenyolanyola mbadde njigulawo 22, because akimanya asobola gitunda million 28. Okitegeera, but the impresa was bad. So eventually we talked to him, n'agamba bwe mba musasula, because initially my buyer told me he had 22 million. So my goal was to buy a car at 20 or 22, not more than that. But it looked like the chances were slim of us getting a car at 22. Because when Morocco is about 12 million, engine, gearbox, the chances were slim of us looking and getting a good car. Because too bad Nakawa Wonanga Teddy way in Morocco 2012. In a Bugorobian, Bondize Bugorobian, Gaku Embassy, Teddy Morocco. Which again. So we negotiated with this gentleman, Nagamba, Banja, because I told him we don't have all the money. So what if we give you 20 million no to Banja? Nagatika Tangena Babs at 25. Now, this is the thing you guys need to learn. Bana imwe bagai mufune mikwano ejagalizanga ate jina wokko. Buli wafune mikwano fune mikwano ejikuchallenginga. So this gentleman that bought that Impreza was with his friend Mweyazene Gotibadi na field. So his friend told him, okusinga ogule moroke Banja. Bakwongere mwaka kadi lwaki nze sikule million bili interest free n'ogule moroke in cash. I've learned one thing. Tubeere n'emikwano egitwagalizanga ate jina wokko. Tobeera na mikwano nga gwali nawe ka. Ojja tuuka ekiseera nga weetaaga akwongerezaako nga mukwano gwo tasobola kwongerezaako ali kuka kati ogenda kukola otya. So what we did is we told this gentleman, bring the car to us. Tugenda ku bank watusanze. No, actually ku bank tatusanzeeyo. I think we went to the bank, picked money, and then we found him along the way. And then we paid for the car, and yeah. That's the inspection for today, and I'm happy with what we got. I'm happy with the car. Actually, when I said every single when I go to do pre-purchase inspection with someone, and they took a field in Morocco and being nyenji, they took a Morocco nunji. I'm very happy with that. The Morocco badde ipapula bya mitwala asatu. Twabadde tugezako kebere ipapula ebyo in the beginning, nga network teriko, app ya police nga tekola, ne bonyiga code nga tekola. So we saw the network ezeko ngate tumaze okusasula. That's when we saw emoroka ebadeko epapula ya police ya mitwala asatu. We negotiated, we ended up saying tetugenda muwa sente za transfer, kati asasule transfer na tusasuleke kupapula, because we had negotiated that as we were buying. So just like that, today's purchase was successful. I'm going to put for you the Vista that we bought 8.5, so that you also see. And my name of a guy, Vista is very comfortable. Vista adeo, those cars are comfortable. To achieve Gamuli actually comfortable. Of course, now the Vista we bought, like probably the ball joint was loose. It had to be kind of repaired, and that's all that had to be done. I think even the windscreen. So, but the reason why I made sure that we bargained that car to Jumulais was so that the buyer keeps some money to put the car to his standard, and I'm sure he's happy. I've not really talked to him, but my mechanics talked to him. Up country, they are safe. Then guys, when you buy a car with Arthur, no jitwala nekusumbwa, you can talk to him sooner. Okusinga wonogenda magaraji ne bonone moroka yo, and then later on not aliko kugamba moroka ekufaako. There is a gentleman we bought a RAV4 short with some few months ago. Twagula RAV4 short yeyo. La RAV4 short yeyo ne bamuteramu ne mountain yali ekonza bu ne nikivaamu. Navuge moroka eyo a number of trips agenda up country, Fort Poto, Jinja, Wawa, najivuga. So I think mukujivuga eze ngendo along the way netandiko okuwala. But guys, I want to tell you this. Cars will fall sick. Ngera naye bobera. Kati olaba gwe weri semmeri. Nonywa amazi. No ria greens. No ria nyama. Naye nawe olwala. You just imagine. Why do you think that a car will be healthy forever? Emoroka ejja kulwala. Emoroka bwerwala totandika kwekubagiza. Find someone that can actually fix that car. So today this gentleman sent me a voice note ngamba Arthur emoroka kati efa gia techachusa egunda nga atadde mu gia. Now ebyo ebintu ebimu byangambye bibaawe emoroka senga okuba ekintu karanksi ya gearbox ne yeweta oba hydraulic ng'akendedde okitegeera. Kati ebiseera ebimu bantu mwe temumanyi nti gearbox bazikola ne service nti oba bajjayo akatimba ne bakooza. Kati emoroka gy'ovuze ngende ezo Fort Poto simanya wa okitegeera. Emoroka eyo eba yetaaga service ate nga automatic sigamba nti CCPT. So eventually mwangambye ebintu ebyo ne mugamba that's impossible. Emoroka RAV4 okitegeera. Remember we bought that RAV4 9.5. That actually 2 weeks later nali mufunidde n'omuntu ng'asobola omuwa $1,011,000. Ye mwenyini n'agaana okukwata essimu. Bwe yakwata eventually n'agamba tatunda. Okitegeera. Naye nga emoroka twagigula 9.5 nga someone was ready to give him $11 million. Ate na yene yekuba. Kati ate later on emoroka etandise okulwala ate agamba bamuseera. Emoroka gye bakuseera wali wadde osobola ogitula at 11 ng'ogiguze 9.5 okitegeera. But eventually mugambi emoroka yagitwala ewa makanika wange because nze bamakanika abange benkozesa bamanyi bye bakola mbimanyi. So mugambi agitwala ewa makanika wange emoroka eyo bagikebere bambuulire ekirwadde ekikola ki ekigisumbula. Nze ekimanyi nti gearbox eyinza oba yenyiga kyekigaana okukyusa. There is a time one of you guys yajja kamala okunywana ku mafuta bagayi ba. One of you guys yajja okukola ki okugula emmoroka ekyabyange obimanyi. One of you guys yajja okugula emmoroka yali muvubuka muto ng'ayina $1,010,000 ng'ayagala gula wish. Ne mugamba wish tewagiguze ne mutwala ku visit yali eya Dr. Wemulago. Ne mugamba lwaki toguze visit eno. N'agamba visit atajagala. Twasanga visit era tekyusa bulungi nga terina bulungi maanyi. Ne mugamba emmoroka eno ogiraba. Ne mugamba emmoro ono n'ayagala tandikira mu $5,000 olw'okuba ebyangenze nga full tanka. Oba alowooza ndi mugwagwa. So anyway, ne mugamba waliguze visit eno. Guy ne yekyanga n'agamba tekyusa bulungi. Ne mugamba waligiguze emmoroka eno n'ogikola service ya gearbox ejja kukyusizawo. Because ebintu by'emmoroka nze nkola ki? Ebintu by'emmoroka mbimanyi. Guy n'agaana n'agenda teyagula mmoroka. The next day nanyine moroka doctor yinyini nawa makanika sente za hydraulic n'akatimba akapya ne bakola service ya gearbox neeterera. Another follower of mine yali yagana ogula moroka eyo a couple of months ago najja n'agigula yeeyagala bweyagazi okitegeera. So there are certain things that nga bw'oba weebuuziza ku muntu abimanyi asobola okuyambako ate n'oba ng'osobola okukola ki n'oba ng'osobola okuvuga emmoroka yo n'ojegenza. I'm looking at the pump to make sure nti tebankuba mpewe kitegeera. This is something you need to do when you're going to take fuel. Aha kati ezze ku zero. Ezze ku zero, but that's something. Good. So, anyway, and that's kansome ku comment za bannange. Thanks for the evening drive. Amina Bridget Kakai. Football tribe. Hi brother Arthur, thanks for the show. I'm happy I'm watching you live, though I've come late. Regards to the members here. Amina, how is Abu Dhabi? Arthur, do you have Hajara's phone number? Sijine number ya Hajara. She's permitted you to give her number to Antonio. Sijina ina jimpereza. Yeah. Aina kujimpereza. Good evening, Lucky Brent. Mlamira Dave. Arthur, there is a Subaru. Weza mwenda? Ezita muzizo. There is a Subaru that looks like a Ractis Karikatia. Bokasanga kalimu yingine ya Ractis 1NZ gula. Nebo okasanga kalimu tuyingine ototegere ko Subaru togula. Bosangira kalimu yingine ebera mu Ractis bagiyita 2SZ 13 era togula. Akamoro kako ina kagula kalimu 1NZ. Ne receipt yange papa Yes sir. Enywedde bulungi ate nga tugivuze nedda ku makya amati twavuze nnyo AC because in the morning it was very cold. Kale Joseph Bali Kudembe, good evening. Okabachi One Brian, good evening Arthur, please share some information about the Toyota Verosa. Toyota Verosa is the same as the Mark II Grand. Bye, it has no problem. Hi Reynolds, how are you? Uncle Fidox Tours and Travel. Lero nkulina abirimu omukago badde ogesunzo gatwala. Uncle Fidox, how are you? The only authorized dealer now on trackers. Amen. Anzeze ka weba require endorsement. Me done pushing the like button. But I am liking a broadcast. I have a Harrier old model UAY. What is market price Arthur? I want a Fielder 2008 Elite Deco. Anti Fielder nkatujaji birane million nga 2325. Okitegeera. Harrier old model CC maker 13 eba ya raisi. Naye 12 ebera okay. Kale thank you. Okitegeera katika tuzemu ka AC kafeto ya gari. So kakati no mulowooza situuse nowengenda okukubira bikyuma njagala nkubayo eddakiika zange engana ndoke ngende eka. Tomorrow I might wake up to go running. I have a class tomorrow bannange nze mbonyebonye edduniya. Enkya nkeera mu kiraasi ssaawa 2 okusoma kw'obukulu kummenya. Nkeera mu kiraasi ssaawa ezo. Sundays no longer feel like Sundays. Kaya ate leero Saturday wenalibaddeko n'abaana bange naye era nalwo lunkutte. Yeah, mude kubara mu nyumiro Uganda yammwe. It's beautiful, right? Only senga bantu bano bakola ku bibye balina okukola. Yeah, anyway, zezo inspections enkoze this week zembadde sinabagamba. Leero zombies but they're very successful. I'm happy with them. I am happy that we have a track record of buying good cars. And by the way guys, bwobanga ogule moroka ngoyagala kugula moroka oyagala ogule ku beeyi y'obusuubuzi, tell me. And also bwobanga oguze moroka ng'oguze ya busuubuzi, be very responsive. Bwogule moroka netukusalawo nti moroka eno tuguze ya busuubuzi, be ready for me to call you at any time nkugambe tulina omuntu bambi ayagala emmoroka eyo akuwa ssente bwe ziti. Okitegeera bw'oba osobola ojja oteese naye akuwa essente zo. Okitegeera. So always bw'obanga ogula, be open with me ngambe Arthur njagala moroka nga nange ngenda gitundirawo so that nkubulira okitegeera ate nabwe ogula emmotoka nga yakutundira otogyesibaako okitegeera togyesibaako. Football tribe, how are you? Team Kamoli bakyaganye okulayikinga bannange muli abantu nkaaga mu mukaaga nyina layikisana mu mukaaga zokka bannange bantu mwe. Hajara mpereze namba baba ojja kumpisa omuyaye Dennis 12, how are you my brother? Bannange Chris Fitness mwali mu kitundu tugenda tukwata ekyuma. Mulamu Hajara webale nnyo nange kanneebaze baba twebaza ki Emma twebaza ki Jerome, how are you my brother? Jeremy Chira Apartments awalungi tewaba wamu we Jeremy nze obe matuga wafe wanatuka ddi watyo obe wafe wanatuka ddi watyo naye gwe Jeremy mbadde ekira neetya n'okutya abantu bazimba amayumba mama naye wakuba gonna ne bageekolera tibeeyiwalewo chorus akuseere bulungi apartment agikusaba akakadde era nga bw'ogambye walungi tewaba wamme Jeremy naye muganda wange Emma kyatakola Hajara. Clip Films, how are you my brother? Kayemba Joshua, how are you? Akwiri Akimu, how are you? Micho Selector, how are you? Chiza Jimmy, how are you? Hey. Farouk Waswa. Oyagale ka petroli nemwe bantu mwe muluka esenyuma mbudi muno banna ninga ali ebulaya Norman Camry 2021 of Ford Fusion, obviously Camry bobo genda jivugira Uganda gula Camry Ford jireke ngogera vugira kampana no kuba makanika bafe bano Ford Jason. Good evening Arthur. Wama are cars that use timing belts worth buying in 2024? Me, I would actually recommend you buy a car that has a timing chain any day. I would advise you buy a car that has a timing chain. Mubiru Abdurrahim, I'm very good. How are you? Adeo Vista, Zankumuru Nana, Muneze Bidi, Better Kumuru Nana. Jitwagula ya Kumuru Nana. Bridget Kakai, how are you? Bana ite mwena vina the cafes tonight kansokemba kubile nakayimba nayi bana mwe munjagala webale kutujjukiza bana ngenda kwera biro okujjukiza abantu bantu lero tulina okulaba the cafe kansokemba kubile akayimba the cafe. It's the cafe. Oh, it's somewhere. Hey. Muna. We can do it together as one. Nindebo Gadoria Tukorahama. Ni wabu sinje. Wamwe emempetwaza. Bwana tukwata. Temwera birokulaba the cafe lere kiro. Sawa 2 ku Palmagic Loco. Channel 302 Go TV 142 DSTV. Mwana basamusanga njizi techa chabu. Ulia. Eyo mukukora tuyambagana tulwanagana tusunjagana naye tukwatire wamu ati agali awamu egalubi nyama so we can do it. Yes, we can do it together as one. We can do it together as one. Muna kajitembeli. Jitembeli. Tulimukatale. Where the highs and lows may be there, the fights may be there, but when we get together as one, we can do it, we can do it. Tuchisabala, tuchibaza. Banaye bantu bange abayina DSTV ne Go TV leero mugende ku channel gye bayita Palmagic Loco. Buli ayina DSTV ne Go TV nga you have an active running bouquet, you can actually watch the cafe today at 8 p.m. Palmagic Loco ku Go TV eri channel 302 ku DSTV eri channel 142. Aturapa Oloya, how are you? Bill Tex, how are you? Juko Nicholas, nze nditudde ndi wange namayumba naye wakula mpola. Namayumba ate namayumba akuze ku speed n'okusinga matuga by the way. Nze jaja wange ali namayumba naye ka speed kalina engeri namayumba oyinza n'okuba oli neighbor we Juko. Namayumba wali engeri wakuze speed. Clip films after which 2003 or 2004 nga busubuzi good condition, best price how much? Milioni nga 13 12. Wakati gye basuubula 12 gye batunde 15. Gye batunde gye basuubula 13 gye batunde 17. Okitegeera bwe batyo. Good evening Abdul Nasser, how are you? Abaho Emi, how are you? Anti Antonio abantu abamu batya maintenance y'emmoroka ezo. Okitegeera. Reynolds, how can I get your music? Bana music wange na kama katonda. Ansasi nimbu kajamu ngate katabuse wano. Katukutte banga lino lyonna. Nemwe mulaba Uganda bwe ina skyline embaragavu. Sikali simbizimbe. But I mean the sky is beautiful. It's clear and all. Bana eba guy, embozi tatunyumiza no mulowooza. Tetugenda kuddamu okunyumya encha. Atona ansibudo bayani yenga simumanyi. Mumulabye. Ansibudde naye simumanyi kati abantu emmoroka batanzigitegeera eno nayo. Ani oyo? Owaayi bw'oba oli ku broadcasting gwani? Matuga very soon is going to be like Namugongo. Nange nkiraba maaso awo. Nkiraba maaso awo nti Matuga agenda tuka nga tajira. Yi ngenda wange Ronald, ngenda wange waka. Kandabe sawa mmeka sawa 12 kituruka ngene nkwatemu ku byume dakiika nga 3 kati kamba sibule sobola okudduka ka supini kwatemu ko mu kyuma kansoma amanya gammwe. Antonio ne Hajara ompereza message ku WhatsApp kuba tuleme kubisaamu muzannyo. Pereza message ku WhatsApp nze nkolo ogwampereddwa Uncle Emma ogwo nagwo ngumale ate Uncle Emma nemegamba athate wakola assignment gye nakuwa. Gwempawu ka WhatsApp ngambe it's me Hajara. Semusu Wilba to see me Eddie Antonio Mutumba Pade WAMV Technology Kambes J High Voltage Jonathan Mutumba Chiza Tadewo Mugalasi Joshua Mukisa Emma Kafero Mulunga Ivan Asiku Patrick Oyokanso wafukuva mu East Kasumba Mike Mugala Seguya Ronald Hajara Munaba Douglas Abe Bukenya Nelson Chobe Studio 93 House Design Ideas Moses Heath Hajara Nakumazedo was Frederick Morris Moses Heath Semakula Joseph Semwanga Sudais Imam Arafat Balvid Hamim Papera King Daniels message yabadiani Nsereko Jonathan Jagwe Muhammad Bridget Kakai Football Tribe Arinaitwe Kevin King Daniels Mulamira Dave Lucky Brint Joseph Bali Kudembe Okabachi One Brian Reynolds Uncle Fidox Tours and Travels Frederick Morris Nakumaze bana imwe bali kubera ku broadcast. I don't take it for granted. Muluza Sibamaze King Daniels Jerome Jeremy Wadesina kutukako nkujukira nnyonnyo Kayemba Joshua Kwiri Akemu Micho Selector Chiza Jimmy Farouk Waswa Sechitoleko Norman Derek Fisher Mark Exasi Mubiru Abdurrahim Bridget Kakai Namumazo yo banang Aturapa Oloya Bill Tex Juko Nicholas Clip Films Editunes abaho Emmy banaimwe bali kubera ku broadcast. I don't take it for granted. Namwe abagirabanga muli mu Kamoli, thank you very much. Now alaba broadcast later on in the year or even next year. Temwerabira again, I'm checking out videos zange, my interpretation of the Traffic and Road Safety Act. Ndi mubasibula kabasibulina mu jamo. Temwerabira again, musome mulabe videos zange where I interpret the Traffic and Road Safety Act. I'm going to upload the next video tomorrow during the day so that you guys actually get to also watch that. Then I think like Thursday, Wednesday, I'll upload another episode. Mugume Ronald, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. Hey, mwebale bana kubeerako, mwebale kubeerako. JK, banange JK, obadde ombuzeeko nnyo. Jekalaika bibadde abaddemu anemono. Bana bagay mwebale kubeera ku broadcast kamba sibuli. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Kangene kwateko mu cyuma, ngene kya sijja kuduka. Kubencha ngera mu kibiina. But by the way guys, buli wono osobola okubaaka akantu ke weeyongera okusoma kasome. Oba kali practical, oba kali theoretical, buli wosobola okubaako kyosoma kisome. Buli wosobola okubaako kyosoma kisome. You lose nothing. Bana bagay, thank you very much. Kansubire embozi ya leero evudde mukaako okuyiga ne mukaba katono katya ate era kansubire banyumidde Antonio ne Hajara. Kansubire nti munaba exemplary eri abalala abagala okukola coupling. Mukama bawo mukisa. Ciao.